Testing 1, 2, 3. I think I'm live. I think I'm live. I may or may not be live. I think some people wish I wasn't. Testing. Testing 1, 2, 1, 2. Stick the bing bam boom hot shoe. Okay. So there was this thing not too long ago. I noticed there was a new update for Cartoon Animator 5. There's not much information on it, but as I was getting ready to launch it, I figured, you know what? Let's do another first reaction thing going on. I don't have my camera turned on. I'm having technical issues with the camera, but let me see here. I gotta launch the Reallusion Hub manually because otherwise it just sits there consuming resources. Another thing you don't want. Did it run? Is it going to run? Well, this is fun. Reallusion Hub. Where are you? Okay. That is not necessarily working. Let's see here. Tools. Let's see if we can force it to wake up. How to use sleeping programs. Wake up! Wow. Control Shift Escape. It's running. And yet it is not. Fucking hell, Reallusion. Seriously, man. Let's force close that motherfucker and let's try running it again. This piece of crap. Alright. Principles of animation. Principle number 1. Do not expect Reallusion products to behave the way you expect them to. Always expect workarounds. Alright, let's see if we can get this going again. Reallusion Hub. Come on, Reallusion Hub. It doesn't want to play. Let's see if we can download it off the internet and reinstall it. All this bullshit you gotta do, man, just to get anything done with these damn products. They have a live webinar about to start in about 20 minutes. I'm pretty sure it'll be one of those pre-recorded marketing things, but you know, interestingly enough, I do see that they did release that update, and I was gonna go ahead and try to get in on the update so I can have some questions to ask, hopefully. But yeah, I can't get the damn Reallusion Hub working here. Reallusion Hub, free download. Free download, keep, and we run it. And it should be running I hear something happening in the background. The version on your computer is newer than the version that is being provided. Blah, blah, blah. You don't need to install it again. I don't give a fuck what I need to do or not. This is what I want to do. God damn it. Fuck. Are you serious? Fucking... Who's that tennis player? You have got to be serious. McEnroe. It's a McEnroe moment. God damn it. You gotta fucking either love it or hate this program, but you can't have it in between. Jesus. Uninstall. Let's see what we have here. Reallusion Hub. Uninstall. 69XXX.fun. Find yourself a hot girl here. Okay. That is your advertisement for today. Feel free to send me a check and get the fuck out of my live stream. I'm not in the mood. How do I do that? Well, while I'm working that out, I mean, I guess you guys looking for hot girls. There's this very, very excited person here spamming the chat. Wants to let you know that you can find hot girls there. Do you need hot girls? Hot girls, get your free hot girls. And let's see here. All right, buddy. You are out of here. Bye-bye. Thank you. Come again. Goodbye. Let's see how long it takes before they come back. Alright. Back to the business at hand. Trying to get rid of the Reallusion Hub. Another instance of this setup is already running. Yes, I want to completely remove it. Can we please? Thank you, sir. Remove it. Get out of my computer. Alright. Hey, Tanya. How's it going? Let's install this damn Reallusion Hub again. Click. And we wait. The program will install to your computer. Sure, let's do that. Let's get it installed on my computer. Oh, I'm having a great time. Reallusion's about to do a webinar, and I found out about it not too long ago because I saw that there was this update for Cartoon Animator 5. So as I was about to install it, all sorts of wacky shit started happening with the Reallusion Hub, and yeah, we have about 15 minutes before they start their webinar. I'm gonna restream it through here. There's probably some copyright issues involved, but I don't care. You know, we'll just cut that out later. They'll definitely have a legitimate reason to do a copyright thing on this one, since I am gonna be restreaming their thing, or they may not, because after all, I am gonna be doing most likely some commentary, so it might fall under that fair use thing. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. So here it is. Cartoon Animator 5 update. Conveniently a few minutes before their webinar is supposed to go live. So let's see what all we have here before we install this thing. Okay, I just launched that window. In version 5.01, Reallusion resolved several bugs to provide a more stable version environment. I would hope so. I mean, that is kind of the reason you would put out these type of patches, right? So fixed. Bone editor ceases to function after Tumon USB software is installed. Feedback tracker. Okay. Let's see here. Bone editor is acting funny in CTA 5. Help is needed after detecting selecting the object. When I click on the bone editor, sometimes it gives me the option to draw the bones and sometimes it does not. I don't know what's going on. You know what? I experienced something similar to this, and I don't know if it's a bug or not, or if it's just a normal state of the product. So what I can tell is that when I try to do some kind of free bone character in Cartoon Animator 5, it did not allow me to put bones in there. So I was going to do some kind of video and report the bug and stuff, but you know, we'll wait and see. Hey, One Gun, how's it going? Skingen is screwed up. I believe it. I believe it. I have Skingen. I haven't used it in a while, so I'm not sure in what ways it's screwed up this time. So fortunately, for when I used it, it did work fine. Or to my best of knowledge. I mean, I'm not a 3D guy, so honestly, I don't know what to expect of you know, normal operation. But it kind of did what I thought it should do. The last update did something. Okay, well, that definitely would, yeah, okay, that clarifies that. Let's see, in some instances, the insert bone function, bone editor, causes computer to lag. Okay, that's not something I've noticed or paid attention to because, again, bugs and things like that are to be expected, so I wouldn't know the difference, but I'm glad that they can tell that. Using preview and add sprite in Composer causes CTA to crash after the headset is plugged in from the computer. Ooh. Wow. I'm glad I didn't run into that, but I'm also glad they fixed it. So if you use preview and add a sprite in Composer mode, CTA will crash after the headset is unplugged from the computer. That is a very unique bug to have. So I guess if you have like headphones or something and you unplug them, it'll cause the software to crash. I mean, I'm glad they fixed it. I mean, there's no way in hell a product should behave that way, but that is a weird one. Undo ceases to function when Composer mode is relaunched. Wow. I didn't run into that one, but I'm glad it's fixed, or at least they claimed it is. So apparently when you go into Composer, I guess 2 times, you can no longer do undos. That is fucked up. Or, I mean, it's fixed. I'm not saying that you can't do this anymore. Okay, they're saying that they fixed that bug. Let's get that straight here. So we have about 12 minutes before they start their live stream, and I'm going to bring them into this stream, and I'll provide my own commentary a la Quentin Tarantino. Improved response time for color grouping tab switching. I have played around with the color grouping tab. It only seems to work with SVG. And I did reach out to one of the Reallusion employees. It was a great guy, by the way. This person, I'm not going to say their name. He's always answered my questions in a fair and polite manner. And I told him that, you know, the vector grouping tool for render styles in the Composer mode is now gone in Cartoon Animator 5. Now, I don't know if they've removed it on purpose because they're trying to favor this grouping tab thing for SVG files. They're trying to force people to work with SVG files and switch over to that workflow. And I have used it, and it seems very useful. It's fine. It's very quick. It's a lot quicker than the original color grouping feature. But it doesn't work with SWF files, and it doesn't work with any other kind of format other than SVG files, so it's kind of useless to me, and most serious animators, I would say, I would add. So, okay, so this is an improved response time. Well, I guess we'll look into that. Improved motion live performance, especially when the content manager is full of content. Aha! Aha! You remember in my previous reaction thing where I pointed out that bullshit bitmap caching thing that takes place every time you zoom in on an SVG vector file, and it has to slow down and perform some bitmap caching? I know what it is. I've developed stuff that used that technology before, so you can't fuck around and tell me that it's something else. This the more vector art that you add into a stage, regardless of whether it's Cartoon Animator or Inkscape or Illustrator or Adobe Animate, aka Flash, the more of vector art that you import into the software, the more the software has to work as far as the processing power to render out all that vector information, because all it is mathematical data. And you having a project running at anywhere from 12 to 24 to 30 to 60, 120 frames per second, and every frame per second, it's recalculating all that mathematics. Well, hey, brother, I'm glad to hear that. What was your original username? So, if you're one of the OGs, then I probably know you from the old FlashFilmmaker.com days. Or were you using? You weren't using this because I don't remember that username. You were probably using a different username. So yeah, Tanya, every frame in a vector file is. It's just mathematics. It's just it's kind of like a text pad thing with a bunch of math that tells the system to render out a drawing. This is why. I had a pan and zoom tutorial back in the day. I do remember that. Okay, yeah, that's when I came up with that virtual camera for Flash. And okay, yeah, wow, damn, bro, that's like over 15 years ago. Jesus. Well, I appreciate hearing that. Yeah. All right. So what was I saying? Yeah, the rendering. Every frame in a vector file. God damn, this thing's got me all cross-eyed. Every frame in a vector file is just a series of mathematical instructions for the processor to perform. So imagine having this file with huge amounts of data and telling Flash, okay, I want you to draw this arm with this color, with this amount of curves, and has all this hair and all this grass, and now you have 2 characters, and now you have 14 props, and they all have their own number of mathematical things that they need to be rendered, and now go to the next frame, and you got to do this 24 times every frame or 60 times every frame. It'll put a lot of strain on your processor. A workaround for that was bitmap caching, and Flash was one of the first products to kind of experiment with that, which based on the zoom level, what they do is they convert that vector into a bitmap. So at this point, every pixel is bitmapped and maintained in memory. And because it's bitmapped, it doesn't have to re-render it every single time, so it conserves processing power. This is why if your cartoon characters, your vector-based artwork is not properly optimized, you're very limited in what you can do. You may have. This is why when you're using characters made by, I don't want to say because it sounds that. I don't want to say it that way because it sounds a little bit condescending, I guess. But when you're working with characters that are created by artists who don't necessarily understand the technology side of how bitmaps, raster art, and vectors work, They just focus on the art. They'll throw in everything but the kitchen sink. And then you realize I'm using 2 of their characters and my shit is about to blow up. I have literally seen a laptop catch on fire while using Cartoon Animator. This guy named Alex, who was an animator in that project, that Batman project. Yours is not there yet. Yours is actually not that bad, but you are getting very close, Tanya. That project, and next time we do a live session and we connect, I'm gonna show you what those vectors look like. We did touch on a little bit in that session that we did today, where we optimized it a little bit, which reduces the amount of curves. But that is like a whole series of videos by itself, just optimizing vectors. But yeah, so, and of course, people who don't know, even if they're very well designed, you might have like 50 chairs and 50 tables, and then you put a bunch of grass down and some clouds, and all of that is like created with like all these complicated vectors underneath. Your computer will slow down to a crawl, and so it's very difficult to maintain and manage. So this improved motion live performance, especially when the content manager, quote unquote, is full of content, this tells me it's not even happening on the stage. They were having issues just presenting you the images in the content manager itself, which you could probably just turn off that panel. But if that panel is rendering that kind of artwork and causing performance issues, that was pretty bad. The only issue that I experienced with the content manager is that a lot of the content that I quote unquote purchased through the marketplace is no longer available there. It's like it shows that it's installed, but it doesn't actually show up for you to access. That's kind of a weird, and it's kind of a bone I'm going to pick with them later on. So we have about 3 minutes before the webinar starts. I am going to launch this update, and I'm going to test the one thing that's been bugging me, because I want to be able to ask about this in the webinar, and they're probably going to blow me off. And I'm thinking I'm going to have to sit through this whole damn thing, whatever it is. It's probably some marketing thing just to sell shit, but they usually do these pre-recorded. I guess they can't afford slip-ups. They monitor what they say and how they do things, so they make sure that they record these things up front, and they stream the pre-recorded video after it's gone through an approval process. And usually after that's done, they will kind of chime in and do like a little bit of a live thing and answer questions. And so anybody who's watching this, I mean, I do encourage you to go ahead and tune in to their stream, or I guess you can see it, you can watch it through my restream, pirate YouTube stream, but send them your questions, ask them about this kind of stuff, let them know that we're still out here, we still work with this tool, and we want to talk about those features that they're trying to sweep under the rug. So let's see here, Cartoon Animator 5. I'm going to put this little window right here because I'm already logged into their lobby or whatever it is. So at any moment, they're going to make that live, unless they find out that I'm restreaming their shit, and then they'll conveniently have technical difficulties streaming. This is fun. I'm an idiot. I need to stop doing this. Seriously. Alright, so I'm in Cartoon Animator 5. The first thing I want to check is the damn thing with the bones. So I'm going to try to launch Adobe Animate. Oh crap, I uninstalled Creative Cloud thing earlier. So, because it was causing issues with some of my other products. So I wonder if by having removed that, will it allow my Flash to run? We may not be able to test this out. Oh, nice. Okay. We're coming in, and the first thing we see is, on their side, Black Friday special. All right. Hopefully they got some good specials, though. I mean, I was able to buy Cartoon Animator for, fuck, I forgot. I think it was like $80.
Speaking here, I'm just trying to get my video working, so we'll start in just a minute. Oh, there we are. Okay, great. And there's Mark. How's it going, Mark?
Hey, hi, hello, welcome.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, thanks for being here again today. I think we're all excited to get started with today's webinar, which is Cartoon Animator 5. It's our first one for Cartoon Animator 5, right?
Yes.
I do believe.
I'm gonna
and Mark is going to
surprisingly enough, they're actually live, or it looks like they're live. They're doing a hell of a job making it look like they're live.
Today, I'm just going to be answering some questions and then kind of hosting the webinar as a side here.
Dude, that is remarkably impressive. I don't think I've ever seen them actually go like live before.
About Cartoon Animator 5,
and
we're excited to teach you about it. As always, we're going to have a Q&A session at the end of today's webinar, so put your questions in the Q&A panel there, and we'll get to those at the very end of the webinar. You can literally ask us anything, we'll answer nearly any questions.
Nearly any questions, okay. We'll ask about the bones, and we'll ask about the SVG colors.
So welcome everyone, and we're also going to be sending out as well, I forgot to mention the survey. At the end of today's webinar, we're going to have a little survey, and we hope you fill that out to give us your feedback, any sort of future topics you want to learn about, and so on and so forth. And you get the 10% discount for the content store once you fill that out for us. And what else do we have to go through here? I think that's the basics.
Definitely take advantage of those webinar discounts, guys. You get 10% on top of whatever you're buying. I've abused that coupon many times, and it's one of the redeeming things that Reallusion has, that they can do that.
From Mexico, so but honestly, I spend my whole day drawing.
You guys didn't catch the game, eh?
Not at all. But my family go like, Mexico, what are you? They are very passionate about it.
Yeah, here they actually open some of the bars. They open them up early in the morning, so people can go in and watch the games at like 8 o'clock in the morning and stuff, which is pretty wild. But yeah, I'm pretty into soccer. I guess football, whatever you want to call it.
While they're doing their little banter, I'm gonna go ahead and do this test real quick.
Maybe we can have some World Cup animations later. Who knows? Alright, anyways, cool. Okay, guys. I have a couple of quick little things to go through before Mark takes it away live with a live demo. I'm sure you can all see my screen right now. Can everyone see my screen? Hope so. Can you see my screen, Mark?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Well, that's good to hear. So you actually managed to do the other stuff?
To go through first, before we move
Are you guys able to hear the stream, the restream of their broadcast?
And so let's go over the brief outline right here. If you're not familiar with it, go to courses.reallusion.com. I'll put these links in the chat window for you guys if you want to check them out. Okay.
Oh, you don't?
Reallusion Courses is our new aggregated page that has all the webinar stuff, all the masterclass stuff, all of the.
So you're not hearing the actual.
Together on the Reallusion Courses page.
Thing.
So I'm sure a lot of you would be really interested in browsing this.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you can hear them.
Anything you want to learn about all of our software is here on the Reallusion Courses page.
Oh, okay. I was confused about the answer. Never mind. I get it.
Alright, thanks guys.
I'm gonna export an SVG file.
Shadow associates from Taiwan are putting stuff up there. Alright, cool. And that's that for the webinar. Yeah, you guys already.
So I'm exporting my SVG directly out of Flash, and trust me, it has nothing to do with your image creation program.
I guess we have Black Friday coming up, which means all the good deals.
I'm importing it as a bone actor.
Q-tips to software to
Selecting it.
whatever. We have some at Reallusion as well. Also,
Bone editor.
go to the content store and the software store.
Add bone.
You get the content store and the software store. So the software store.
Holy shit, they fixed it.
basically,
I can get off their ass about that one.
you can click on these.
See,
items
the
here.
previous version, and they did not talk about this in their little updates things of things they fixed, but it's fine. This is a bug that they had. This was not working, the ability to place bones. So, okay, they fixed it. So I'm going to be able to experiment with this a little bit later. This confirms to me that I am able to continue working with Flash to create artwork and still rig it with bones, whether it's a G3 character or whatever. This gets us a little step closer.
Well done. I've checked it out myself. So, yeah, if you want basically pick that up for free in the next 7 days. That's part of our grand launch special. And then also for all the other software, you can see there's iClone, Character Creator, and Cartoon Animator here. This deal here, you buy two, you get an extra 15% off. A whole bunch of numbers that you can kind of figure out when you check out on your shopping cart or whatever. Content store. Oops, let me just actually. I'll paste that in the chat room or the chat.
Kai is a really great guy, by the way. He's one of the few. There's a few Real Illusion employees out there that are like, they're fucking badass people, and I really like Kai, and I respect him, and he's really awesome.
To be had in the next little while out here. So here you go. Black Friday by 2 get 50% off.
You probably still do have to do all that work. This is a different type of thing, but this will be helpful for creating props that only have one angle, and you just need to be able to move them around like a tail, a cape, hair, things like that. So this is useful, but it's not gonna replace the G2 character creation.
Weekly special from the content store. This weekly special is the Vector Buddies, down $15 from $60. So
Vector Buddies.
The content store, and you can find some.
I'm not gonna criticize that. It is what it is. Let them do their thing. The next thing I want to test is the vector grouping tool. So for this, I am going to export as an SWF file.
Questions from the chat window, but maybe putting a couple of links and comments and stuff as you go along. But that's about it.
And I'm gonna go into Cartoon Animator.
Yeah, I think we'll just hand over to you, Mark, and you can take it away. Start your awesome
and go into the composer mode.
New features in Cartoon Animator 5.
And yep, we don't have the ability.
Check back on the YouTube channel.
We do not have. Wait, did I do the right one?
Go ahead, take it away.
Alrighty, thank you very much. And just answering really quickly.
No, we don't. We have the render style button, but we do not have the vector grouping tool, which belongs right here. I'll show you what that is.
Yes, like there's only one version of Cartoon Animator 5, and it's the pipeline version, basically. So it's really powerful because you get the pipeline a little bit cheaper than how people are doing Cartoon Animator 4. So it's really good.
Yeah, Python only. And I know we're going to be asked this as well, so there's no Mac version, unfortunately, for Cartoon Animator 5. For a lot of you Mac users, unfortunately.
No Mac version. I can live with that. I mean, I can understand that their numbers are probably not that big. They don't have that many customers, so they had to make a decision. But they do develop it with Qt, and Qt does have the ability to export as Mac, so they also don't have an excuse for not doing it.
So this is everybody seeing my screen. This.
So I'm gonna bring in that same SWF file, go into composer mode, and notice what's supposed to be here. I select it, vector grouping tool. This allows me
Mark, I don't think anyone can see your screen yet.
to select any part of this item,
I can't see it.
assign it to something else, and then now this body part is render style compatible, which means I can go in here
You can see it? Okay.
and change the color to whatever I want. So this allows me to create different variations. So by removing
No, okay, I need to stop my
this
Okay,
button,
there we go.
by removing that button
Still sharing mine.
from Cartoon Animator 5,
Interesting. So it was like 2 shares at the same.
by removing that button from Cartoon Animator 5, they have essentially crippled that feature. And it's a very important feature. I mean, am I the only person here who thinks that is ridiculously stupid?
Thank you. Okay, so
And maybe I did it wrong. Let me delete this and let me import it again.
new features in Cartoon Animator 5. So before we start, I'm going to ask you guys, like, anyone here, if you don't have like the
No, it's not there.
the chat,
We do not.
already have Cartoon Animator 5 installed, just type yes in the chat. Yes,
I'm gonna type yes. Yes, of course we have it installed.
by Patrick.
We're gonna see how well they answer my questions.
Hey, Andreas. Okay, so Patrick, Andreas. Let's see, James. a couple-
And I'm gonna try to take it nice. I'm gonna be diplomatic. I'm gonna be on my best behavior.
And Feeny. I recommend if you don't have it yet, I'm going to recommend you get the free trial right now, right? And this is something super cool.
And I'm gonna recommend that if you don't have it yet, but you think that you are gonna buy it, go ahead and buy it now while it's on special. You can stack up the coupons and you'll probably get it for the lowest price. You can worry about your buyer's remorse later. But if you have like serious doubts, then definitely don't buy it because there's a lot of fucking issues with this product.
It's a really cool thing that I recommend you do right now. Download the trial and
Get the popcorn.
actually my screen right here and shares you here, right here. This is where you can get the trial. I'm oh, there it is. Thank you. Actually, the team won. You got it before.
I mean, who is? I mean, I don't think this guy is like an official employee of Reallusion, but he's doing a hell of a lot of marketing for them at this point.
I'm going to be explaining a little bit of theory to give time for you guys to download it and install it. And also, let me share with you the project files. And the project files are these. I'm going to just drop it also the link in the chat. And any of you watching this on YouTube as a replay, if you were not here live, the links should be below this video in the description, so you can also follow along, right? And this is what you're gonna get. Once you download it, you should get this.
I am definitely downloading it.
And in there you're gonna see like a project that we're gonna do together, and then some files that you can explore and experiment with, and then your logo, right? I'm going to explain all of that because that's what we're gonna do. Now let me continue with the presentation.
Yes, please continue with the presentation.
Those are the project files. Download them, and here's why I recommend you practice. Like, you can just sit down and just like watch passively. And if you just want to do this with some popcorn and snacks, perfect, great.
I think he heard you, Tanya. You got your popcorn?
I recommend at some point maybe come back and see the replay or do it right now. Practice because of this quote. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I might remember. Involve me and I learn.
This guy's a fucking philosopher.
Right? It's actually not originally from him. It's actually an old Chinese proverb, right? But this is how he rephrased it. So I'm going to start covering the three features that I can guarantee you're not gonna learn them if you don't get involved.
Okay.
But if you get involved with me, like if we do this together, we open Cartoon Animator together, and then I guide you through it, etc.
I got you, buddy.
You're gonna learn so much.
Let's learn. Let's learn.
So
Let's do it
go
together.
through the top three features.
Top 3 features.
The first one is the strings.
Okay.
This is the update that got me the most excited.
So the springs. You're not gonna learn this unless you learn it with him. So get the software and do it with him, guys.
Like stuff we follow through manually, and it's so hard. So hard. Like to get this, the timing and everything. There's so much theory about it, right?
It's not hard.
Okay, so
It's basic animation.
spotlight, and everybody can see me on the big screen, right? Just so I can explain something in here, because you have to kind of like do one frame. Like for example, if I was to animate a cape, I would do one frame like that, and then what's the next frame? And then I would have to like this, right? And then the next frame is like this. And then I play it, and then it feels weird, and then I go back and forth, back and forth. Or
I think this guy really thinks that you guys are fucking idiots, you know?
I still have a challenge because it's so complicated.
It's not. It's basic animation. It's called follow through.
In the correct positions, right? In the correct angles. And it's still like
It's probably difficult in Cartoon Animator, but if you're using a program like Inkscape or Flash or even Toon Boom Studio or whatever, it's as long as you know the concept behind how follow through works, it's easy. You practice it a few hours and then it's natural to you guys. But yeah, I get it. It is hard in Cartoon Animator. So
time to learn how to do it manually, and then when I have to do it,
I agree with that.
I still have to invest more time like getting it right.
No, I agree with that. Definitely learn the principles behind it and do it manually, because if you can learn to do it manually, any kind of automated thing is a million times easier.
You just like all you do in Cartoon Animator is set the phone, set the screen, and then move the head up and down. You're gonna see, right? So I'm going to actively now share this in Cartoon Animator 4, right? I'm going to open the finished project. And in here, just to show you a little demonstration of this program, right? Like just so you can see what I mean. I can just take this and look. I just move it. Look, I'm not animating the hands.
No, that's fucking great feature. I love it.
My job.
That is pretty cool.
From here to here.
That's fucking awesome.
Everything is being. You see the power of this. It's insanely easy for me as an animator.
I'm gonna have to post a comment. Is it powerful enough to actually work with SWF vector art?
But anyway, let me go back to
That's kind of a dick question, but I had to put it in there.
It's so much fun because now all the technicality was removed. So now I can only focus on the creative and fun stuff, right? That's the biggest for me, like my favorite. Another one that is really good is the FFT for saturation. This is like this grid that you can move or you can. Let me go back to.
Do you remember that envelope tool that we worked with today, Tanya? That's basically all that is. That's the amazing new feature, something that's been inside of Flash for over 20 years.
I'm just, right now you don't have to follow up, I'm just illustrating how this works, but later we're gonna do this together, okay? Like putting a project together. Like I can go to here and then create these splits. Like for example, I can make an angle really fast. Just like I just do this really fast. Wow! Right? Look at that. Very, very fast. Let me go back here to the timeline and show right? And then I can do some other motion like you can be shown.
So I'm getting like a lot of you guys have my direct contacts. I'm getting messages that people are just now finding out that I'm streaming. You're not getting the actual notifications from YouTube that when I go live. Make sure you hit that little bell icon if you want to be notified. If it hasn't happened, sometimes YouTube will unplug it.
You can do it manually, by the way. That was the automatic way.
Yeah, it's always been able. I mean, no, not always. For yeah, so make sure you have the little bell icon clicked on my channel to make sure you get those notifications. Because I heard that YouTube is actually turning them off when, for whatever reason, algorithm bullshit.
See that also you can make some layers invisible. Did you see? Like the sleeves are removed because they just bring the passive
Oh, okay.
So all of that can be
Hey,
done
Sphinx.
very easily.
Don't be angry.
Alright? And then the other thing is that
FFD. FFD features.
it opens the doors to our
Fucking fuckery direct.
vector assets.
What does that stand for? FFD.
And the cool thing about vectors is that
The algorithm hates you, man. Or it hates me, actually, because apparently Tanya didn't get notified either.
these are pixels, right? Look at what
Oh, those are pixels? Really? Oh my god, dude. Come on. You can do better than this. You saw how that shit got blurry? They haven't fixed that.
see that it's starting to get blurry.
Yes, it's starting to get blurry.
That is called pixelation. Starting
That's called rasterization.
This is not good. But if I do the same thing with the robot is not pixels. The robot is vectors. So I'm gonna zoom in, and it's gonna be pixelated first, but then it's going to do a processing and
Yeah.
clean it up because it's
It's gonna do a bitmap caching on it.
Okay, look, it's looking like that, but then
Look, it looked like that. And boom, it's still fucking blurry, dude. Look at the line.
because pixels are just colors that are showing in like different squares, and the vector is
Oh my god. Guys, pixels are bit mapped into they're bits that are mapped into a graphic. Bit mapped. Bitmaps. There's pixels. They're bits that are mapped. That's easy enough. Vectors are mathematical data that tells the processor how to render shit. That's all you need to know.
Thank you, guys. And
Yeah, he might be a little high.
are one point, and then another point, and then some trajectory between those points.
This dude is so fucking high, the stream is blurry. His pixels are blurry. That's a stupid
So
joke.
that's why it zooms in and then it's processing, and then it cleans it up. Because, hey, all I need is
No, in a way, I do kind of like his approach. You know, I know I talk shit, but in a way, I do kind of like his approach. He does talk like to people like they're idiots, like they're kindergarten, like they're children. But a lot of Reallusion customers, they kind of do need to be talked to that way, and I respect him for that. So he can do it. There's not a lot of people who have that amount of talent, you know, to just kind of be a kindergarten teacher, you know.
to go, for example, to freebie, right? Sites like this, where you can get a ton of material. Like I'm going to go to vectors, free, example, and then a cartoon character. And I don't have to do anything. This is for when I have no budget at all, right? Like I can get rid of things that are
This is for when I have no budget at all. I recommend just stealing somebody else's art, reprocessing it, and getting it done.
It's not that simple.
Don't do that, guys. Always try to be a little original. If you're gonna borrow stuff, at least put in the effort to do the, put in the effort to make it original, or, modify as much of the characters as you can. Don't just steal stuff off the internet.
And most of these files, the creators leave them on Illustrator, so you do need Illustrator. And I know that some students don't have it. So that's the
You don't need Illustrator. You can import Illustrator files into Flash or Inkscape or any other vector art program.
Well, my recommendation is going to Revolution at the Pocket Store, especially.
I still recommend you modify the hell out of that. You want your characters to look as original as possible because your script is original, your stories are original, and you're going to be putting this out on the internet. And you don't want your shit to look the same as everybody else's. So, yeah, put in an effort, Tanya, to make your shit look different from everybody else's.
Because it's pretty new, like, probably you don't have much.
Which is, you've done a pretty decent job so far, though. You changed the colors. I think you modified some of the shapes and stuff. So you're getting there.
Changing the content and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do have some packs for sure, yeah.
Dude, I gotta hand it to Reallusion.
So
They are literally doing this live. I've never seen them do this. They always pre-record their stuff and like really protect what they're gonna say, and only come in live after the webinar
these ones,
and answer a few select
I
questions.
could use them to animate them. I find them very appealing, and I don't.
You already
mind
made him Hispanic.
sometimes making them compatible with
His name is now Johnny Peso.
Again, it's just pretty cool because the doors are open, right? And then finally, the smart content manager. So, okay, type it in the chat who here has like a lot of items that you have bought on the content store. Just type
Fuck no.
in the chat.
I'm not gonna. I almost, dude. I almost typed that. I almost typed that response in there.
Okay, look at that. Like a lot of you already have some content. And I can tell you, lots of stuff already. So here's the thing. Isn't it annoying in Cartoon Animator for like, I remember getting the two buddies, right? And then, where are
Two
they?
buddies.
Dang it. And then I have to like,
Oh, that reminds me. I am gonna search for my shit.
Vector buddies, here they are.
Let's see if that's true.
Sometimes
Project, actor,
spend more time just
Human,
looking for the
Sinistar.
animating is the
I only got 2 of my characters in there. I should have like 6 or 8 of them in here.
like it can take so long. Well, now you can find stuff with the search.
Find stuff with the search. Let's search for Billy.
Using this for a project, for example. Let's say this one, right? This character. But let's say that in my project,
Dude, it doesn't fucking work. There it is. But that's not the other Billy. I need the Billy with the red shirt and the green shirt.
Random name.
And I know I purchased those, quote unquote, gifted them to myself.
Right?
They should show up in here.
And then
Kevin should show up in here.
James. Right? This one.
Kevin is not there.
And then also this. So if I
So it's being very selective as to how it works. I don't know quite yet, but he's making some claims that are not quite accurate.
open this from so if I click on all and I just type in the search James.
Click on all. Okay, I have to be specific.
Yeah, but you know what? Now I need a female character. Instead of going looking through the folders, I can just type female, right? And with that,
No.
look at that. I get a filter of female character. So it's incredibly useful and time saving. And that's the main mission of Revolution. And it's entitled.
They have done some improvements. Maybe this was part of that update from earlier.
Dang it, I was sharing the wrong screen.
Because last week I was not able to see these props.
Sorry, guys.
So these are being displayed.
Okay.
But I'm still not seeing my other characters, so it's still not showing my shit.
You didn't see any of that? Oh, I'm trying to explain this for the first time. Okay, screen one. You're seeing this, right? Sorry guys, let's go back.
I think it's time for the Jeopardy theme.
So, with this, if I go and find stuff, right? And I go to vector files. Okay, so I'm gonna take another one. Like for example, Angela. And in my animation, she was called Priya. I could just edit tag. I'm just right click, edit tag, and then just type Priya. Right, that's gonna come. Plus, then I don't close this. I just click on the
Content
next,
information.
and then Maria plus, and then I just paste Maria plus. Now, if I close this, and then I close Cartoon Animator 5 and open it some other day, right?
Some other day.
And we open, for example, here, usually when we go on all, I could just type here in the search, Maria, and I have that here. But also, I can look
What?
for a female character, right? And then I get a bunch of characters that have the tag. right?
Okay.
So this is insanely useful. Very, very useful.
Yeah, that could be useful, I guess. Yeah, I can see. I can see somebody using that.
Don, you can ask that on the Q&A and we can answer it at the end. Yes. Okay, so this is the main idea, right? Now, those are the top features, but I want to now get started with the practical part. This
Okay.
is what we're gonna be doing.
Are you guys able to hear the background? Okay, the actual dialogue from this
What
guy.
we're gonna do
Okay.
is this is what we want to have by the end of today's session. This robot, shoot, and then kind of jumps, and then runs away, right?
All right.
All of that. If you were to do all of this, everything from scratch, and you have to draw everything, produce and make it look really nice. And
Which you do have to draw all that from scratch.
all of that will take so much time, so much time.
Yes, it does take time, and you do have to do it.
You're gonna see how easy it is because of all the new features, right? And because I'm not producing anything, I'm going to ask you right now.
I'm not purchasing anything.
Go to the project files. I can remember which project files. Go to this link and download this background. Right?
It's a perfectly valid
You're gonna
thing, okay? It's a perfectly valid suggestion that if you don't necessarily want to trouble yourself, you can download maybe royalty-free artwork to use, ideally for experimental purposes, for playing around.
and I searched that.
I'm not gonna recommend you guys do this in like professional work or stuff that you want to stand out as unique.
That's kind of what I did. And then I had
Not without some decent modification. I mean,
also.
yeah, definitely take the time to draw stuff, guys, or learn how to draw and.
Animate and make like 4 steps. So probably I would have used this one because it's easier to animate or a floating tab. So eventually I get to this. So please click on those.
Did he just say he would use the other one because it's easier?
We should also
That's a
put it
fucked up
in the-
mentality, man. Animation is hard, it's grueling, it's not glamorous.
License to use them. And the one that I used was this one. All I
But you shouldn't be afraid. I mean, that's the reason people animate, because we create things that are not easily done with live action stuff, you know?
attractive that could float, but also that have arms, so I could have this follow.
But it is a valid point, though. Well, you know, I wouldn't want you to have false expectations, you know?
So this is the main thing.
I mean, I work for Disney, man. I'm the guy who was sitting behind a fucking desk drawing 300 to 400 drawings a day because I had to meet a fucking quota. You know, it's not a fucking glamorous job.
And sorry, my dogs. At this time in the night is when some activity starts happening.
I'm gonna let him talk for a little bit.
Okay, so this is the episode for today. We're gonna apply
What?
the 3 features, right?
Okay.
Because remember, only when you get involved.
So feature number 1, steal your shit from the internet.
In here, we're practicing the.
I mean, that's what I'm getting so far.
Okay, you can see that we have the springs.
You would be dead in day 1.
Are being dragged. Pretty cool. And also, there's like this little stretch that gives this effect for kind of like a blur. Like, shoot.
Yeah.
I like it very futuristic.
It's called a smear, not a blur. And you don't, and it's fine.
I like it.
You know what? There's no. I was gonna say something stupid, but then I caught myself. There's no like concrete rules in 2D animation, especially. Ideally, you do not want to do squash and stretch
I changed the color.
on hard surfaces on robots,
It was not very
but it is not against the law. So if it looks good, do it. You know.
the background. So now these 2 mesh together really well. So let's
Hell yeah, we're gonna follow along.
And also you should be able to also have downloaded these, right? This is just so you can get the license. You don't have to even open them. All you need to do is download them, and that's it. You can, after you finish the tutorial, you can either raise them or something, or explore, just so you see how I kind of took like the original file and how I went from there to the actual program.
Roll my body over and see only the 2 drawings that I did.
Fast. This is what I did.
But see, when you're working for a studio like that, you don't have to draw finished stuff. You just got to get the volumes correct and draw fast and loosely, and you got to get the volumes, draw on model. But you do have to draw 300 to 400 drawings a day as your quota. And then somebody else is going to clean it up for you. You'll get this pompous little student who went to school for 2 to 3 years, and he's upset because you didn't go to school, and you're telling him what to do.
And then you can, I have WinRAR, so I use WinRAR extracted.
All right, Derek.
If anyone else needs anything, just drop a comment on the chat, right?
I could use a Coke. Coca-Cola. Don't get any ideas.
So to save some time,
Although I did try to snort Coke once, but the ice cubes got stuck in my nose.
and open Lost Planet Start. So I just click and drag into Cartoon Animator 5, and I have everything ready. Like you can also practice, right? And look, these already have all the layers. Now,
So-
if you want to practice this on your own, you can do
I don't think that's how it works.
this.
Okay.
This, actually,
So I'm assuming he went through a process where he separated that art file.
and then I bring it all the way back, right? And then make it really big. And then
I don't expect him to show how he did that, but I'm assuming he took the time to separate those files, or they came separated for him.
right? It's a prop. And
What's
so,
this?
Now, I'm not going to
Oh,
go
God.
into detail. You have, if you buy Cartoon Animator 5, you have a free course. Just show it to you. You have access to this course that is actually, this is not free. It's actually $197. But you can get it for free until December 31. Right? So this is like a bunch of modules in there, like this is contents, but also you get like a ton of, like you can check it out. I'm gonna drop this just so you can see what we're doing, right? But yeah, this is for those of you who purchase. Anyone here already signed in? Just like to kind of do a coding here.
Let's see what they're saying in their chat. Me, yes, me, yes. Okay. SVG files are better. Not everyone has Illustrator. Well, SVGs are just a format. You can create them with Adobe Animate. You can create them with add-ons for Photoshop. Because you can draw in vector art in Photoshop and export as SVG with a plugin.
Because that's covered in detail in that course. Okay. And by the way, even that link is provided below this video in the description. And if for any chance you're watching this from the future, tell us who won the World Cup. But if you're watching this from the future and then, I missed getting it for free, that specific
Yeah, Inkscape is free.
a special offer.
It takes a little bit of getting used to. It's a little bit on the technical side, which is why I don't use it. And I have considered it before, taking it more serious.
And I'm from Mexico, so interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Affinity will export to SWF.
Anyway, if you
I just realized that I'm kind of like the Uncle Roger of Flash, and SWF file is my MSG, the king of flavor. If If you're not working with SWF, you are shit.
So here's the thing. Now that I have this, I can also go in and bring the robot, right? For the robot, I'm bringing this file that says
SVGs are perfectly fine, guys, for single images,
you cannot
but you cannot do embedded animation in SVG files.
right?
For that, you need HTML5 so that the JavaScript can like run the frames for you.
You click on View, and then click on File Name Extensions, and then use the one that says SVG.
Okay.
Click and drag into Cartoon
Oh
Animator,
shit.
and I have a character.
Oh. Well, I didn't do the thing with the downloading of the background, but I don't think it's that essential. I will do that. SVG, drop it in there. Okay. So far, I'm following. Okay.
I haven't done like okay. I haven't done a full test, like trying to read everything in a reading designer. But if you can open it, you should be able to do it with no problem.
You probably can. It's using the layers. It's using the layer names to do the rig. So it's probably not that hard to do.
Start moving, nothing reacts to it. It's too stiff.
Why? Oh, I'm grabbing the wrong one.
So I'm going to do this. I'm going to select.
Oh, my shit's not doing what his is
and
doing.
then Press. Oh, wait.
Okay, I get it. So he's in composer mode.
There you go. Okay, so yeah.
What is he
So,
doing?
In here, also, let me show all the keys that I'm doing. So you press on that icon. Those are the springs.
The spring icon, okay.
And then you get the spring enter right here.
Sure.
I'm going to use two groups for this. I have the default, and then I'm going to pick another one. And this is going to be the key. Right? The default is the one that I'm going to use for that. So let's just do a quick test. Right now, I have the group, the body selected, and then I can, with that selected group, which is this column, you can see that that's the box. After that, it comes all the other ones, right? So I'm selecting the root. I have default selected. Now I'm going to click Assign to Group. Okay, John, you're asking, how do I get the composer mode? Close this and show you. Really good question. If you're in the scene,
Okay.
is right here. I'm going to click there on the top right and back on the scene. I select the character and then I go to composer mode right here. That's how we do it.
It's the first button on the toolbar.
And I also on the tab. Okay. So, Pavel, could you let me know, by the way, that's your hand, Pavel? So, Pavel, can you let me know if you've been able to get something ambassador de perfect. So
Let me see if I can get a better presentation going
you're
here.
able to use Affinity completely and open it like research it. So anyway, I select that. This is where we look up. I select default and then assign to group. And now, look, 2 clicks, literally 2 clicks, and look, I can preview. I just click here on preview. And look. Now it's alive. 2 clicks. Right? So now I'm going to be a little bit, that's not exactly what I want, but I just like that flavor of it's so easy. So I'm going to remove from group and all the bones, instead of red, they are now gray. And now I'm going to select this arm, select default, assign to group. Now the arm is going to be activated. Remove this. And now the arm is following through. See? I remember every time you press preview, you have to click again to stop, because otherwise you cannot do anything. I used to freak out the first time, so I used to like, hey, why I cannot do anything? Oh, it's because so I click there, or I press S, right? Like insert and then I cannot do anything. I can press S and I'm back to it.
Okay.
Now I select the other arm. I have default selected. Assign to group. Okay? Let me know if I start going too fast. The settings that I want in
That's what she said.
after doing some testing, I like the number 60 and the number 30 for the speed. That's it. 60 and 30, and that gave me.
I don't know what this guy did. I should have been paying attention. That's my
but
fault.
Not too stiff, right? I like it for the movements that he's gonna be able to do. And I still have that hanging. I like it. Okay, so those are the settings. You can change to something else, right?
Assign
But
group,
those are the ones that I like.
default.
And then the ears. You have to select one ear, and then in the group.
Do I drag and drop? I should have paid more attention. I think I was talking too much.
All this list, and then click on this little arrow, and then select the ears, and then assign to group. This, by the way, this was called group something. I just double click to name it ears for the solution. That is not. Right? And then I select the other one, select the orange group, assign to group. I'm done.
What
Oh,
the
no, wait,
fuck?
not that. The setting that I want for this is 40.
Okay.
And 40. That's it. Very good. Now I preview, and you can see that the ears now also react.
How the hell is he doing that?
And I'm done. Now
Preview.
I'm going to go back and start
Okay,
previewing.
I can see it.
Now, this robot, I just click on it, I select it, and this is way too big. I want him to mix a little bit better with the scene. So that size, like if you pay attention to the size,
Yeah, that's not working.
9%, right? So let me bring this character out of the screen, and he's gonna fly like boom.
Okay, that's working.
Be a little bit fast. So.
I think I get it.
By the way, let me ask you guys here a question live.
It's not bad. It's actually a pretty cool little effect.
It was awesome for a future update.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice little effect. I can see a lot of nice props being made with
That
that.
is, like right now I have to do this, right? Like I have to, I'm going to go slow first. I open the timeline, click there, I click.
I don't like that it's warping the actual sprites.
I want object related track, so it hides everything and only shows me.
It is really nice.
For whatever I have selected. Now I only see the robot rig, and so this
Yeah.
is something that I thought was a great idea. I'm going to do so much more.
It is definitely a great idea, which is something I suggested in their forums like 4 years ago.
Like that. But this is the idea. The idea is, how about you click like a record button, right? And then you just do this. Like once you are in record mode, you just do.
Yes, that would be
And
cool.
then you play it, and then it moves. I thought it was genius. So
What?
let me know in the chat, like,
No, that is pretty cool. How did he do it? I'm gonna ask him to do it again. Full body, 2D motion key editor.
The idea is you click like a record button or something, or it's maybe in here in the interface, and then you click record and then okay start, and then you just do this.
Oh, Is he suggesting it or is he demonstrating it?
And all of that would already be animated.
Yeah, that would be a cool
So
feature.
I'm excited because that would save even more time. Right? Yeah, it would be like transform puppeteering or
Yeah, this guy almost got my hopes up. I thought he was going to show us. No, it's a great idea that he's suggesting that if we had some kind of record button where we can manipulate the guy like a puppet, like with our mouse, and have those motions just go ahead and record the keyframes, that would be cool.
So yeah, that's the thing.
And it might actually be possible with that Pi API if they ever release it. So that would be nice.
Guy, just for this
It's a really good idea, Mark Diaz.
on Cartoon Animator, this is the screen. So right now, this guy is out of the screen. Let me prove it to you. You can preview how this is going to look like in the end result. So let me click there, and you can see. By the way, let me. Something real quick. I'm gonna say goodbye to a friend. Alrighty. Okay, apparently it's like an amazing idea. That would be an amazing feature. Yeah. Yeah, I'm also excited. That's a future update probably coming out. Since you guys responded so positively, then yes, I think they're.
Well, of course, we're responding positively to something that is a great idea, but it doesn't actually exist right now.
Let me go back to Cartoon Animator 5. What if I put the character out like halfway in?
Okay,
Right here?
let's put it halfway in.
And look. There you go. It's only half of the robot. As you can see, oh, there's a mistake here. I don't want that. That's because this is not fixed. Now it's so now the robot is out of the screen. Like play, stop. Like I want him to hold his time, like hold that position for a little. And then I want him to do something. Right? For now I'm going to leave him there. And if I want him to hold that position, I need to do this. This position, which is this, right? I want him to hold that position, and so I'm going to copy and paste to frame 36. And
Sure.
that way he's going to be holding that position all this time.
Yeah, that's fine.
So let me just go back, press Ctrl C, copy, and then paste. Right?
Yeah, that's perfectly valid. Let's do that.
He's holding that. He's going to move to here, maybe a little bit down. And let me play it just so you see what we have so far. Shoot, shoot, right? And that's it. Very fast. Now I want him to also hold that position this time, right? So I'm going to copy and paste it there. Select this, copy, click back here, paste, and then move the frames again, play. Maybe in here he's going to go all the way out. Let's see if that's enough.
Okay. That third keyframe is what we call anticipation. You create like a a counter frame, something against like when a boxer pulls back his punch and telegraphs it before he punches. That's anticipation. So that's what he's demonstrating there.
See, can you rephrase? Because I don't quite understand. Do you mean like, do you want to stop the spring motion? Like in the middle of it? Like that? Like zoop?
Fucking robot has epilepsy. This is the Michael J. Fox of robots.
There's a free project where you can explore this after. So, anyway, anything that you want to set up for the screen assist, you have to click on the character.
Why do I say those things? Jesus. I need to stop myself. Why don't you guys stop me, man? You guys are going to get me to get myself canceled. Are you guys literally going to allow me to get canceled because I say stupid shit like this? I literally just said something that's going to have the SJWs on my ass. And I know I said it, and I regret saying it, but it was funny as hell.
Okay, so now that we have this, we're going to go to the next feature.
The Spring Bones features is definitely we're for the show. Oh my god.
He's going to stop there.
It's like a fucking train wreck. It's so horrible, but you can't look away.
For that, I'm just going
This is a really nice feature. I do like it, and I wish wholeheartedly that it worked throughout their entire software. If this SWF vector files work perfectly fine in the software, why doesn't the Spring Action stuff work with them?
scroll down.
Or maybe it does. Maybe they... Fuck. You know what? I'm going to shut up for a minute.
Select the one that says jump.
I'm going to take this arm that I just did earlier.
I'm going to have him jump, but probably the jump is going to interfere with the next movement. For now it's okay, but I'm going to need to fix that. Let me just click and drag to here.
Bones are not supported in SWF or videos. Okay.
I want that. I want him
So there goes that dream.
like, you can leave it like that. Oh, that was kind of work.
But for static images, yeah, I guess we can live with using SVG files. But
Here's what I like about this.
SWF files work.
All of this animation.
Why not?
I'm enjoying this process so much because I'm not going into all the technical details.
Yeah, because you downloaded everything that somebody else already made for you.
Erasing none of that. Like just a couple of settings. And I don't want that together. I can just select all the keyframes and move them out of the way. How much? Well, first I want to show the FFT. Right? Let me show it. And you can see that the clip ends here. So I want to put all these keyframes after this one. So let me just click and drag. And then click and drag after. Like, look, there, I'm leaving a little bit of space. Look, check out how this looks. Jump, then move, and then jump. Like, I'm going to have another jump in there. Right? Another jump.
Oh,
And I have to
okay.
I'm gonna leave it like that. But I can play with it. Like I can just take those two again. Let me go slow. I take those two and then I click and drag. Right? Just like this. And we're about to finish.
So let's pull up the FFD panel.
And then move. Or I can kind of move when after the jump. I like that.
Where did he get it from? Template, FFD motion,
So I'm gonna leave it like this because we're running out of time. And then finally,
wing
let's
spine,
do some
free bone.
other adjustments.
I should have paid better attention. It's right below freeform.
Like, we already have this character, right? Now it goes to here.
I don't have that.
Oh
well. I'll play around with it later. Awesome. Yeah, you can stack those coupons up, man. Take advantage of those coupons. If you absolutely know that you're gonna get it, even if you hate it, at least take advantage of the discounts. Grandmaster Flash. I'm no longer Grandmaster Flash. Now I'm Grandpappy Flash.
How do I want to group this? Do I want to group by, okay, I want these arms to be red and these arms to be yellow. If that's what I want, I need to group by stripes.
They're SWF
I want
racists.
to be able to change all the colors. Like I want to select all the blues. So for that,
I'm gonna post in the chat. Now do it with an SWF file.
and that's it. Now instead of showing stripes, I want to show.
I guarantee you they're gonna ignore that comment.
I want to go back. I prefer the other one. You can just click on So
Huh.
I'm going to just rename some. This is the blue colors. This is okay. This is like the
I really do like their approach to this coloring system. It does make things a lot easier than the traditional vector grouping tool. But the vector grouping tool is still a little bit more powerful. And it works with SWF files. Now, this particular thing only works with SVG files, so that's where the drawback comes in.
Close this and then go to adjustments. We only have the group set. Now I click on adjustments. And then in adjustments, I could get rid of some part. Like I could select the blue, for example, and if I want to look, I can make it this.
I'm going to ask him to address the missing vector grouping
So
tool.
if I wanted to disappear one arm, then I need to, instead of group by colors, I need to group by stripes. But in this case, I'm not going to do that. And instead, I want this to be paired with this scene. The scene, the scene is a little bit pinkish, right? So I'm gonna steer the.
So I just posted a question saying, can you please address the vector grouping tool missing? Can you please address the missing vector grouping tool function in composer mode?
Okay, I can go back again. Is the grouping function in here? Cool. Now,
It's not.
for any reason,
Dude, it is not there.
use those two. It is only because you don't have sprites. It's not a vector. And let me show you. Let me go back. And I select, for example, this, right? These are pixels. So if I select that, and I go to Composer, you can see that I don't have those. Because those only work on vectors. Instead, because these are pixels, I can do something else. I can show you the hue, right? And these are like, I can still change colors, but it has to be color vector. So I can cross back to this, right? So hopefully that answer that question.
No, it doesn't, actor.
Just to finish up, I'm going to go to Composer mode. Select this. Select the adjustments, and just select the view. And instead of having too much saturation, I'm going to select it a little bit like this, right? And a slightly dark, right? Kind of purple.
So I just posted SWF R vector and grouping tool is missing now. Therefore, you can no longer create render style compatible items. Let's see if he addresses that. His answer was kind of, the reason it's not going is because it's not vector. No, it's not because it's not vector. It's because they removed it.
I'm going to make them also a tiny bit more. Right? That should mesh a little.
I think they are trying to phase out 3 and 4, obviously. I think ideally they want to phase out the use of G2 characters and the SWF format overall. But you can still create G2 characters with SVG files and with bitmaps and stuff, so that shouldn't really be a problem. The problem is that they literally castrated the software by removing a key item that allows you to create render style compatible props, items, characters, all that stuff.
Because those are pixels.
No, they're not pixels.
Yes. But G3 actors are pixels. And that's it.
G-
Now we are
what the
over
fuck?
for Q&A.
G3 actors are pixels?
It was 5 minutes later. But hopefully it was useful.
Unacceptable.
Well, no, it's definitely useful. Dude, Kai has put on a few pounds, hasn't he?
Thanks for that, Mark.
I really like Kai. He's a fucking awesome guy.
New features in Cartoon Animator 5. As always, we're going to get to the Q&A session here and answer some questions from you guys. I know Mark was answering questions to those. But if you have any questions, put those in the Q&A panel there, and we will answer those right now.
I just want to answer one really quick. Like, can we access this entire webinar? Yes, you're gonna see a replay. You can see the replay of this scenario.
So I'm going to post the question again. SWF files are vector. The vector grouping tool is no longer there. Why? Let's see if they answer it.
When you go
I'm kidding, guys.
to Revolution, you can go to like the products, go to Cartoon Animator, and then in there goes to learn, and then webinars. And in there you can see archive, and you can see the past webinars. And in there you're gonna see that this one, you're gonna see it right here. And you can also see the upcoming ones, right?
I just want them to address that, you know. They should be able to just say, hey, we removed it because we no longer want it, don't expect it. Or, hey, my bad, it's a bug, we'll put it back in, you know. I just want them to address it.
So Maddie, you want to answer? You want you have questions?
Somebody said somebody responded, SWF can be both. Fucking, really? That's not the point. The point is that it's not there.
So buy Cartoon Animator 5 Power Tools add-on bundle for Black Friday. However, I see there is a webcam profile for CTA 5. I have a webcam profile for CTA 4. I'm going to need to buy the webcam profile for CTA 5. Very good question. So, unfortunately, with every new version, the plugins need to be purchased, just because they need to be updated. And yeah, there's no free upgrades for the plugins, unfortunately. That may change in the future, but that's one cap.
I like that DJ setup behind Kai on that desk. I can picture him back there just like in between work, just kind of DJing away. Ricka, ricka, ricka. I didn't know he had it in him.
So weird decisions are going on there about what's included and what's available for side purchase, but yeah, just be aware of that. There is you need to update your plugins as well. Not all the time, but and again, you can always just do the mocap in CTA 4 and then just basically transfer to CTA 5. You don't have to.
Yes, you can do all your work in CTA 4 and export to CTA 5. But guys, if you're gonna use CTA 4, you might as well stay with that.
Unfortunately, we're not gonna get an Mac version anytime soon because I think the decision that was made is we're trying to advance the features and the technology as fast as we can, and when you port that over to Mac, it makes it double the work for our small engineering team. It's like sitting there, they have like a guy over top of them, like whipping them.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I mean, I can vouch for that statement. That's perfectly legitimate reason.
It's not really like that.
The Mac shares is probably not as big as their Windows customer base, so it's probably not worth it. It's understandable.
I have the experience of producing like a video game for our school, and it's such a hassle. Like, it's very easy to just point finger like, hey, Mark, you should do this, and then yes, trust me, I want to do that, but it takes so much effort and time and design and coding, back and forth and bugs. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah, but you could just download your shit from the internet, right? That was a stupid response. It's a lot of work.
Free-form deformation. Like
Freeform deformation. Okay. I'll try to remember that.
Alright, cool. Next one.
Freeform fuckery.
How do I add a spring bone to an existing character? For example, I have a very high Cowboy character, and I want to add spring bones to his mustache. But when I hit the spring button, CTA5 said that their character has no spring bones. So how do I add them? Well, you can just generally add your own bones, really. There's no limit to how many bones you can add to your character. You can just assign them a spring.
A spring bones feature is pretty badass. Okay, they're not gonna get any criticism from me on that. I'm jealous of the fact that it's only for G3 characters
Specifically, but you should be able to just
or
add
SVG stuff.
no problem. obviously, be aware that if you do add bones, then your character may not be a standard character, so you may not be able to apply. Although, that's an interesting question. Actually, I've never tried that. So what would happen is, like, you have your character, you can apply all the standard animations to that character because it's a standard character. And then if you added like a tail or something, like a tail bone, and assign strings to it, I guess I think what would happen is Cartoon Animator might not even recognize it.
Yeah, it will, Kai. I just posted the answer to that.
So I think
So the answer to that question, guys, is that it will work. Basically, pre-made motions will work as long as the names of the bones match. So if your new character only has 3 bones that match the names, then that motion will only work on those 3 bones. So it will still work if you add new bones to it, but it won't work on the new bones. It'll just copy the animation and it will apply it to the original bones. So that shouldn't be a concern.
That would be my solution. Of course, I can't really try it live on air here, but that would be the solution. I'm guarantee that would work. It's just, any thoughts on that, Mark?
Like if for any reason,
They're really struggling to answer that question. I just told them the answer. Look at the chat, guys.
apparently it works for you.
Yeah, it should work. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't work. It's kind of a little bit of a workaround, but again, if you did create a character and adding bones to the standard character, Cartoon Animator wouldn't recognize it as a standard character because what Cartoon Animator looks at is the bone structure of the character.
Yeah, the names of the bones.
And if that was a different bone structure, then it'll be like error.
If you change the name of the bones of a character, then you'll no longer be able to work with that. This will work with Cartoon Animator 1 props.
If your asset is pixel-based, could the program convert it to vector? Cartoon Animator 4 can't do that, or 5 can't do that.
But you can do it in Illustrator probably.
Yeah, Illustrator, I think, was it Affinity Designer? Someone else mentioned that you can also do that. Someone's working with SVG files in Affinity, so a little less expensive maybe.
Just remember to optimize your vector art if you're going to do that.
Shout out here. Like, Badrina, I see this is the 3rd time you're posting. Hey, what's my video? This is the 3rd time you post. Can you please stop doing that? Because that's spamming. So please stop. That's not allowed here. If you're putting like, so just politely, I'm asking you.
Who is he talking to?
But please, just stop. Thank you.
Yeah, listen, I just noticed it first time. Yeah, avoid this damage. Alright, so we've got the next question anyways from William. I like to vectors.
What?
People look at the vector characters in Cartoon Animator 5, they all feel the same, no language, just flat colors. It's nice to have more looks for different projects using vectors. It's really going to incorporate more flexible character styles in the near future. Absolutely, and good news, Blaine, we're actually going to be updating.
Where is he reading that
I
from?
think we've already updated a number of current content store packs that previously were not vector, but now we've updated them to vector.
Is there a way to edit the text for the logo demo project?
Supports that.
They're going to tell them to use an external program.
Yeah, I think good news for you. It's going to be much more in the future. Obviously, we're always launching new content, and if you're an artist yourself, feel free to publish some stuff in the marketplace or the content store. And okay, cool. Next question from Steve Smallwood: is it possible to use Cartoon Animator 5 on a Mac computer system through something called Parallels Desktop?
Of course.
That's
It's a virtual
That's the
machine.
only way right now that you would run Cartoon Animator 5 on a Mac would be through like Parallels, like Steve mentioned here, Parallels.com, which creates a virtual machine to run Windows-based software applications. So yeah, that's exactly what you would do essentially. This is kind of a two-part question here. Is it also possible to open Illustrator files in Affinity Designer 2? Adobe Illustrator? Well, I think so. I don't use Affinity myself, unfortunately. Maybe somebody who uses Affinity frequently can answer that question. I just use Illustrator myself. I don't pay for it. I don't know. The Affinity Illustrator. Kazim says yes.
I think that's a question more for the Affinity Designer guys.
Gary Garcia, the rigs automatically generated with kinematics or for kinematics.
Where's he getting these questions from? I don't see them in the chat.
All FK, even if it's IK controlled. I'm more of an icon guy. Obviously, the question icon is obviously yes. But let me think the scenario.
I used to do it, just makes more time, but takes more time. Yes, it's doable in CTA4.
I think it has IK, right?
A lot of these answers are relying on them suggesting that you continue to use Cartoon Animator 4.
Yeah, you can in the bones. Yeah.
Kai, do you mean vectors with line art, black outlines, or are you updating just the flat color ones like G2 characters? What?
That's thumbs up. Next question from Sovereign: is it possible for Smart Gallery to update all the items without me having to individually click on it?
That's a good question.
This is a necessary feature. Individual downloads are time consuming. You can always multi-select items and download.
I hope they answer that one.
I actually just released a tutorial myself, like it was last week or 2 weeks ago, and it's basically all about Smart Gallery. So I recommend checking it out.
Character Creator 4 with Cartoon Animator 5.
It's a new tutorial that.
Can you make your own 2D characters to animate? I think it's kind of a plain question.
There's no real reason why you need
Can you use Character Creator 4 with Cartoon Animator 5? You can if you like tracing and rotoscoping. Also, to have your questions answered live, you can ask them on the QA tab. There's a QA tab. Ah.
Does the animation preview actually show the correct timing of your animation? Or is there like a render preview and a preview with name dropping? Okay, so I think Gary's talking about, it is real time, Gary, so yeah, what you see is what you get. Obviously, if your computer is a little bit laggy, then your real-time preview will not match up to your final render.
Seth MacFarlane? Yeah, right.
If your computer is crappy, then it'll be a little bit laggy, obviously, when you're,
Now, if he's going to answer this question, he needs to say it in the voice of Stewie.
Yeah.
Do we agree on that?
You can check also like the system requirements and go for the recommended. Like maybe if it's too laggy and it's worth the investment, maybe getting another
If it doesn't work for you, get yourself a new computer. That's a fucking joke answer, man. Come on.
icon is more power learning, but
Not with the amount of vectors that are going in.
Question from Vincent. Can you set an invisible wall so that the spring motion doesn't pass a certain barrier?
Damn, that would be a good feature.
Simulating crashing into a wall. I think we were talking about it kind of like physics.
like having the arm like that and then okay, that's it, this thing.
Yeah, I think
No, the answer is no, you can't do it. But yes, it would be a great feature.
angles of the spring, like you can make it only go like 0 degrees.
I suggested a physics engine about 3 to 4 years ago, and they just totally ignored my forum thread on that.
If you're planning into another object, like a wall, then that requires physics, which you don't have yet in Cartoon Animator 5.
Yeah, collision physics. I mean, collision physics, ragdoll physics. That would be fucking awesome, dude. But it's wasted if they're gonna do it just in single angle characters. It's fucking wasted.
You go, this is what Kai is mentioning, is when you go here, you go to the screen, I can select the right now it can go all the way, right? But if I limit this to, let's make it more stiff, like half, like 100. Now it's a little bit for what am I? Yeah, right. And if I make it even shorter, like let's make it 10. Right?
Yeah, that still won't do collision, but it's still cool to have the
Now it's
ability to
very
edit those
stiff.
things.
So I think that could be one thing, but what you're saying is that you would like to have it, for example, in the full motion, range of motion. But when it comes here, they kind of slap, right? And then don't wiggle all the way to here, but instead crash and stop right there, right? If that's the case, then yeah, that requires physics, and that's an entirely new challenge for future updates.
But they wouldn't do it because it's hard.
Angle there. Forgot what it was called in Cartoon Animator 5. Okay. Oh, no, sorry, it's called, I think we were saying it's called limit angle, and then below that it's like counterclockwise or clockwise, so yeah, you can limit the...
I just posted what it's called, guys. It's called collision detection.
Question from William. Need more release webinars with custom human characters and examples on using these new dynamic features. Real-world animation job examples.
Yeah, you're not gonna find any of those.
Team vector characters in Cartoon Animator 5. This is not a question. Oh. William, feel free to put that in the survey.
Where's he getting those questions from?
You know, I think we're all more than happy to extend the types of webinars we do, the topics we cover. So yeah, put that in the survey, and you know, the more requests we get for a specific topic or a specific area,
The more you'll be ignored.
the more likely we will see that in future webinars. I think, you know, Mark, you can do that stuff, right? Easy. All right. Question from Elijah. Will the vector buddies be released for CJ5 as vectors? I do believe so.
What the fuck? Will the vector buddies be released as vectors? Weren't they vectors?
Already available in vector format, but yeah.
I never used them, so I don't know. That's maybe they were just called vectors.
Somewhere on the page, so if you want to make sure that your content is, when the content store is vector enabled, like it's a vector format, it does show that there's like an icon on the page that shows.
Okay, that's something to look forward to.
Content. So just be cognizant of that. Make sure you take a look around the page. Yeah, I'm actually going to take a look real quick here because I tend to.
So the vector buddies were never actually vectors? They were designed in a vector program. Maybe that's what they meant. Yeah, that makes perfect sense because in CTA 4, G3 characters were not
Are you
vectors.
showing your screen?
Yes, I think screen number 3. Yes.
Okay, now you're showing it, yeah. Okay, yeah.
This, right? This means six vectors?
That was, I think, the spring bone icon, isn't it?
No, that's the one on the
Oh,
left.
no, vector, you're right. Okay, yeah.
This is the spring?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, right, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Vector, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't see
So
that.
be sure to look for that, guys. If you're gonna buy stuff from their content store, make sure it has that
And
icon.
the good thing is, though, that if you've already purchased that pack, then you don't need to purchase the vector version again. It will actually, your smart content manager will actually update it automatically. Yeah. So if you've already purchased Vector Buddies, whenever the vector version is available, it'll just update it for free to the vector version. Yeah, which is really cool. Yeah.
That's what I like about the smart content in icon. Like, oh, it has been updated. Just don't do anything, just press OK.
Right?
Really cool.
It's a lot easier than it used to be. Alright, so So yeah, I understand the context of those characters and props are owned by their creators. But just to clarify, we can create animations with them and sell these animations to clients, correct?
Yes, you can create animations and sell them because you have a copyright license to it, but you don't own the characters. You just have a license to use them, and your customers will not be able to claim full copyrights technically.
It's the Cartoon Animator 5, but there are certain restrictions when it comes to character creators, 3D characters that are being used in games or interactive models. And I'm actually working currently on a tutorial about that kind of explains the licensing for these types of content. It's not relevant to Cartoon Animator 5. But yeah, because there's people that, I want to use this character, to generate kind of characters in my game using Unreal Engine 5, for example. That gets a bit more complex in terms of copyright and all that stuff, but yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
Headphones kind of look like
Any animation you create yourself is fine. E3, Andy says, are we going to get the ability to do keybinds like in iClone 8?
do what?
Keybinds is a kind of strange term. I'm not
Key bindings?
keybinds.
Shortcuts, probably. Like shortcuts.
Like hotkeys?
Hotkeys, yes.
I hope that's. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's what you mean. Maybe you want to clarify it a bit, but.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think that's going to be like within the versions, within the 5 version, like 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 5.4, etc. Yeah, I don't see.
Oh, yes, that's what he said.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't agree with that either, technically.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. We're not really more term keybind. Don't come across that very often. Anyways, okay. Next one from Jim. Is there a way to edit the text for the logo demo project? The logo demo for the.
They're going to ask you to use a third-party program.
It should be, yeah. If it's a different layer, completely fine. I'm not sure specifically which project you're talking about, Jim, but
Function.
yeah, it should be fine. I think all those projects are fully customizable. So we'll go to the next question, anyways, from Nikki. Cool name. All the packs being made vectors. Do you have to repurchase them? No, I guess I just answered that already. No, you do not have to repurchase the pack that are being put into vector, which is really cool.
If I purchased a t-shirt from Walmart, then I'm free to do whatever I want. Technically, yeah, with that specific t-shirt. You can do whatever you want with that t-shirt, but technically you can't make copies of that legally and sell something with your Nike logo and not expect a lawyer to be at your door.
Followed my instructions for the Cartoon Animator 4 course. The link
Yeah.
to that is open everything correctly.
Yeah, that's why you gotta make sure you edit the characters as much as you can.
Can you make your own 2D characters to animate Cartoon Animator 5? Yes, absolutely. And can you use Character Creator 4 for Cartoon Animator 5? Technically you can. It'd be a weird workflow to use, I guess. But, for example, you could capture a...
What they talk about was the 3D base model, since oftentimes in order for you to like modify their character,
I find 3D more flexible.
then but it still keeps the base model, so they don't want you redistributing that, and that makes perfect sense, but yeah, with a 2D character, you should modify the hell out of it, even if you're using a base model or somebody else's template or somebody else's character, because otherwise you're just distributing somebody else's character, and you're cutting in on their profits, and you might be able to get away with it, but I don't know for how
I'm
long.
going to recommend, this is just my personal recommendation, I don't recommend super long animation clips, right? But that's a professional recommendation. recommended to have clips, and also it's a way to push you into like shorter, having shorter shots, which makes the animation much more interesting to watch than a long shot. But
That's a matter of
anyways,
taste. That's an opinion. That's not a
the same
solid
as
fact.
like I don't know how long it supports, but at some point, some people get crashes in their computer. Like
No, everybody gets crashes.
had like a 20-minute shot.
Anything above 2.5 minutes will crash. I've done it.
That's crazy.
The limitation I think is like 2,500 something frames. I can't remember.
Max, like,
No, I'm wrong. It's more than that.
even maybe like a minute for like a single scene.
But yeah, I don't recommend that each clip be longer than maybe a minute, if anything. You should definitely work with small clips and edit in an external program.
I recommend you check a previous like seminar that I gave on that topic. If you go to the webinars,
No, technically you're not stealing because you paid a royalty for that non-exclusive right to use it. So you are being allowed to use that, whether it's commercially, like for a commercial presentation, or whether it's for a derivative work of some kind. You paid a royalty fee for that. I mean, you got what's called a non-exclusive right to use of the product.
With all your scenes
So
together.
technically, you can do it. The artist will.
I mean, I know there's
The artist has allowed for that in their license. However,
a scene that goes on for like
you're not the only one who did that. There are probably 50, 100, 1,000 other people who also did the same thing, and they're going to be producing content with that same character. And then you get into this issue where some of those might actually be like professional Netflix things, or some of those might be like, film festival things or whatever. And some of those will just be hobby YouTube things. But those characters are gonna basically look the same and very similar. So even people who are using my Billy characters or my Billy derivatives, I highly recommend. I mean, you can use them. You can make whatever content you want, and you paid for the license. I mean, it's your right to use them for whatever you want. But you can't necessarily repackage them and resell them unless you do some serious modification to them, or you customize them in a film. You customize them to the points where you technically made them your own original character, so that nobody else can contest it. There's going to be 50 other people who bought that same character that you did, and they're all going to be claiming copyrights to it and fighting each other over something that is not even their fault. It's the fault of the guy who sold you the license, for not making you aware of that.
Often if you get like just like a tablet, like a Wacom tablet or something, you just start like sketching out stuff and learn how that process works. Like
Yeah, you should be fine. I mean, if you're not reselling them, you should be fine. I mean, you don't have to even modify them. You can create your own short stories.
those layers.
Nobody's gonna hold it against you for using pre-made assets. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly acceptable. This scenario only plays out for people who want to do something that they want to claim exclusive rights to, and they don't want to contest against somebody else who is using the same characters.
Affinity Designer for the vector format stuff. But yeah, you can also do Photoshop. I don't know, Mark, you want to add anything to that? I'm not the artist.
actually one of the things that I was discussing is with actually the CEO was the idea of creating a character creator for Cartoon Animator 5. Because it would be so awesome. That's something, a project that we're working on. We partnered with Fresha, a character designer for the video game. And it's creating like being able to customize your own character, but like different type of eyes, different skin color, different type of noses, etc. And in all styles, right? Like Disney, anime, whatever style we're looking for. Then you customize it, and then boom, it's ready for animation. Kind of like the character creator for iPhone, which is awesome. Having something like it for Cartoon Animator 5. And that's a project we're actually working on. So you don't have to be an artist, and you can create unique characters. Right?
Yeah, that would be a really great product if they can come up with
it's
it.
still like an idea.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be really cool.
I've been working on something like that myself. I never got too far with it. I did make Puppet Producer though.
How do you pronounce the name again? August?
Yeah. And then
Lucas. Alright, not related to the webinar, but are there any plans to add more mouth shapes for lip syncing? On this, I mean, you can add as many mouth shapes as you want into the sprite library, but for standard characters, I don't think there's too many plans to do that, just because, you know, for these 2D characters and sprite switching, you're not really going to have the most detailed lip syncing either way. So it's kind of a little bit of a loose thing to do to add more lip shapes to that. You know, for example,
You know, that's not really
recently
a terrible question, because
facial profiles
just having the
much more facial
basically 9 or 10 basic mouth sprites is fine,
like that,
but we're talking about animation. We're talking about performance. What if you want to say the ah shape while you're happy, or the ah shape while you're sad? That's two different sprites. You don't want to use, you know, the same mouth sprite, even though it represents the same mouth action. For everything, you want to be able to express emotions. So that this guy's question is perfectly valid. So having 3 or 4 different variations of ah, a, e, all those sounds is perfectly legitimate, and it's a perfectly valid question. I think it's kind of fucked up that he shut him down that way, like that.
Oh yeah, I got a couple of sound production things back there. It's my little synthesizer. This looping station is actually a machine MK3. It was really cool, really fun to use. You can throw a lot of store a lot of stuff in there, tons of effects, tons of I did sampling, like samples from titles and stuff. A lot of fun stuff. Yeah, producing my own music just for fun. Oh, you don't want to hear my tunes. It's like asking me, like, you know, sing all the, like, shattering the windows and stuff.
I'm answering some answers, some questions that I can answer typing. But Dennis, I accidentally clicked on answer live. So let me answer this really quick. Your question is, why did the character designer add-on for Cartoon Animator 5? It's not ready. It's something that we're working on. So that's the quick answer.
Somebody just posted, I think an important reason not to buy Cartoon Animator 5 will be the force to rebuy all expensive plugins again. This is definitely not customer friendly. If you already have the plugins, you don't have to buy them again. I did get free upgraded versions of them when I bought my copy of it, so that's probably not something you got to worry about.
Yeah. Okay, question from Mark. Is there going to be an SVG pipeline out to edit? I mean, we'll go back and forth with SVG rather. Yeah, right?
No, you can't.
I mean,
I think it's coming. I think it's coming up, but I don't know if it's already up.
Yeah, you can export it yet to SVG.
Yeah, like going, like kind of like with PSD, like you can go back and forth. I think it's not ready yet.
Yeah, not yet, right? That's makes sense. Yeah, you can port is okay, but
yeah, they told me they were working on it. Yes, maybe that's help a lot.
STD.
yeah, I think that's something that'll be hiding. That's probably, again, that's going to be within the 5 series, 5.1, 5.2, whatever, for sure.
Do you guys work with the STD format?
Okay, Ian, coming back to the next topic, is there a way to bypass this? For example, installing Windows via something like Parallels. Yeah, I think we answered that earlier, Ian. Using Parallels is a fine way to do that. And, you know, people have actually been using even iClone which has like much higher requirements with parallels and everything like that. So yeah, Cartoon Animator 5 should not pose any problems with that. Okay, Gary Garcia again. Does the moons have automatic weights, or do we control the weight painting influence each of the phones? Yeah, sorry, no, we don't have. There's no weighting available on Cartoon Animator. That's like phone weights, screen weights, and stuff like that. That feature is not available yet. It's more like an iPhone feature. That's more actually more advanced iPhone or character creator feature. And I don't see that coming into Cartoon Animator 5 in the near future. But again, guys, if there's a feature that you really want to see, then I strongly encourage you to put that in the feedback form. Go to our forums, we have like Facebook groups and all that stuff. Like all caps letter, like, give me phone weights. And we'll see what happens. All right, another question from Ian. Will there be an update for when can draw in CTA 5? I've heard say about that, but as in terms of when it's going to happen, not totally sure. I don't suppose you've heard anything about that, Mark, drawing in CTA 5. Again, that goes back to the character creation you were talking about earlier.
Yes, like drawing is still not in the priority list.
Drawing is still not in their priorities because it's too hard.
And I kind of rank according to the demands, and I like that list I showed them to the developers, so these things that have more demand. And those were like rotation, the body move body rotation, and creating characters, simplifying the reading. And drawing was not one of the most popular, but it's still required. Like most of the people using Cartoon Animator.
If they were to implement drawing tools in Cartoon Animator,
I know how to draw
it would remove the need to use Flash, Adobe Animate, Adobe Photoshop, any external program. It would change the game. It needs to be in their priority list if they want to actually be taken serious. It needs to be on their priority. That's a bullshit answer.
Thanks. Okay, Daniel Santos. I see you have some templates to make puppets 360 for humans and quadrupeds. Is there a way to make my own templates? I'm thinking dragons or robots with its own sprites and whatever. Good question. Yeah, I mean, you can obviously make your own custom characters, your own custom bone structures, no problem. In terms of, you can probably, theoretically, just create your own animations specifically for that bone structure. So, for example, you can't apply like a biped animation to a quadruped character because it would recognize the bone structure or whatever. So every custom bone structure that you create will either have to be manually animated, or you can sell your own, like create your own pack of animations and sell them custom for that character. Like you get maybe like an octopus or something. You could do that. Good question, Daniel. I think that the only limit is your imagination.
And the Reallusion product that you have on your hands.
Alright, Hansel says, you mean a link? I think that was just reading a random comment from some of it. Hansel, maybe he wants a link. Hansel, if you need a link of something, so
I answered text and I sent the link.
Oh, okay. So I'll break Hansel. You know that? Anyway, zoom in the reference. William. Remember, I hear that when it breaks anything in Hansel, I was just thinking about that. Good old. Yeah. Zoom in is probably like 1997 or something now? I don't know. Anyways, let's get to the next few questions here. I'll end off probably about 5-10 minutes here. William, do you need vectors with line art, black outlines, or are you updating just the black color ones? That's a good question. I don't really know. That's the content team, which I'm not in regular communication with. But yeah, if there's, I mean, again, if there's demand for it, like, hey, give me this vector update, and yeah, this is not a question, right? Yeah. This is not an option. All right. Yeah, send it into the team or whatever. Do whatever you know. The more demand, the more likely things are going to happen. But again, resources are limited with our team, and so
I don't understand why resources would be limited. They literally got a handout from Unreal Engine not too long ago.
Blue Steel, remember?
Reallusion actually got a mega grant from Unreal Engine. They got some serious money behind them. What they did with it, I have no idea. But they certainly did not put it towards improving their products, or not in any significant way that I can think of.
So there's a limited.
I do think that part of that mega grants thing is that they did make the live link available free for indies.
I saw it and I'm interested
So
in the answer because I don't know the answer.
if that's all that came out of it, then that's kind of bullshit. It's basically Unreal Engine, Epic paid them so that they could make that free for us. But other than that, they did not use that money towards some serious development.
Yeah, like you can customize the spring animation to an extent. You can set different spring strengths, different parts down the timeline. Yeah, you can keyframe those and stuff. There's a spring track that allows you to customize that. It's really basic right now, but yeah, generally, with the spring animation, you're gonna do is gonna bake that.
Yeah, I just want them to seriously address that vector grouping tool. I mean, that guy gave a kind of a bullshit answer. It's pixels. No, it's not. I know what he means by pixel. He means raster images. But, the SWF files that I work with are 100% pure vectors. And, it's just not there anymore. And it's kind of dumb because all the other features that are dependent on the vector grouping tool are still there.
By far one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, I mean the whole spring mode thing is just a huge time saver for sure for the most part. Okay, man, William Hernandez got a lot of questions here. I would like to see the G2 characters, top characters for Dr. for TA5.
Yeah, me too.
G2 characters, man, they were awesome.
There still are.
Rotate those characters 360 degrees. I always thought they were pretty cool characters. Around the time that Cartoon Animator 3 was released, which had the G2 characters, I was doing a lot of side projects with those characters. And, yeah, they were great to work with.
They still are.
Because something like, hey, can you show me this from a different angle? Like, normally in 2D, you're like, oh, crap. I gotta draw another character. But with these characters, you're just like, okay, I'll just flip them around. Yeah. I went to the G2 characters. You just ran this.
And William, that is someone else answered that by typing the answer, but actually the full rotation character is something the developers have been working from 2020. I remember 2021 I saw one of the first prototypes of a character rotating, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly it. And then they told me, yeah, but the thing is, right now, rigging a character for that is hell. So they are working so much to simplify the coding and everything because it was so heavy to code and it was great. So yeah, they're getting there. But because the power, the limitation with the G2 characters is that you couldn't change the sprites, right? And in here, they want you to be able to also have the sprite changes and have them like the rigging process as easy as with G3. Because I don't know if any of you have tried rigging a G2 character. If you want to see how powerful it is, are those
It's good in like Flash back in the day.
so complicated.
Yeah, not my jam for sure. just made. Again, the Smart Content Manager tutorial, which is on the revision courses page. See if I can find it or not here. I'll post the link in the channel if I can find it. But yeah, I literally just launched. I just published that. I think it was last week. Same question, and a lot of people have that same question as well. Getting started. Yeah, getting started with the Smart Content Manager. This is the one that was, I think, released last week. Maybe. I'll throw the YouTube link in the chat window for you guys if you want to learn how to do that. And this one talks about updating your content. Bam, there we go. Oh, okay, someone else beat me to it. What a bunch of heaters you have. You get really the studio.
If you want the wild ways,
every draw, yeah, we go like.
Alright, go team.
Shut up, man. Question from Vivek here. Do I need vector programs to import AI files or the CTA5 automatically recognize the AI files and seek installing a vector program? AI files?
It has to be SVG.
Yeah, SVG. Yeah, as far as I know right now, it's only SVG.
AI is still not.
AI not at the moment, yeah. So, good question, Vivek. Unfortunately, we don't have that capability yet. Alright, we're in the final stretch here. Any other questions?
Mark responded to my question via the chat saying, "You must have an amazing workflow then." Anybody who's seen my videos could pretty much see that, yes, I do have an amazing workflow and it's stupid easy. Tanya, you were able to rig up a front angle of a character not having any experience in this. Overall, it took you what, less than 3 hours? 1 hour that we took, like 1 hour that we did last night and 2 hours that we did today. You rigged up a full one angle G2 character and you have no experience in this. How, it's fucking crazy to me how hard they think this is, you know? It's just stupid easy. The hard part is that, okay, maybe you have to draw, or maybe you have to grab and manipulate graphics, but that's something you have to do either way. It has nothing to do with the workflow, with the actual rigging.
As a separate animation. Whether or not you import, I've never literally tried to import a iconic animation onto or facial animation onto a CTA5 character. That's a good question. You may have me stumped there. Just because I've never tried.
Yeah, and they don't do it because they don't try. They dismiss shit because they don't think it's, you know, it's not within the realm of their imagination. It's like, oh, this is so hard. We're gonna make it easy by removing the need to make 10 angles. Now you only make one angle, and it's still more difficult. You gotta deal with like 1,000 freaking layers in Photoshop or in Illustrator. It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Just importing like an image sequence, yeah. But
I thought it could be
good.
Okay then.
Not yet in Cartoon Animator 5, as far as I know. Yeah, I've never seen it, but honestly,
Sounds like a good idea, Javier.
Yeah, I mean, what I would probably do is just do the facial mocap, just draw it in CTA5. Obviously, just because the character, the difference in the character type is going to be so weird that I don't know if it'd be practical to even try that. But yeah, let me know if you figure out how to do it or if it works. I'm not sure. Alright, please put the vector grouping tool back in Cartoon Animator 5. I think that's actually something that's coming up. We do have that grouping tool that Mark showed earlier, a little bit different than the traditional vector grouping tool. I think if you're talking about G2 characters, I think that's before your time, Mark, G2 characters. Yeah, it was kind of a. Yeah, you just throw it in the wishful features section of the forum.
By the way,
Maybe.
he says that he has a workflow to read YouTube characters like after an hour. Wow. You say you have YouTube videos, so did you put a link? I'm interested in watching it.
Yeah, he's actually he's been using Cartoon Animator for quite a while. I recognize him from way back in the day, almost the beginning. So.
And I recommend you for
Okay, a couple questions from chat here. If I don't have or want to use Adobe Illustrator.
Well, I appreciate the acknowledgement, and I was hoping that they wouldn't put the link to my channel while this was going on, because they're going to see that I'm live streaming this with the comments. But it just shows that they just don't even try, man. You know, puppet producers out there, click, 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 and you're done.
Only SVG right now. I've never actually used myself, but I mean, there's Affinity Designer. Some people mentioned earlier that seems to work well with them.
Yeah, that's the one that like I believe I haven't done the test, but there's like Inkscape that you can first.
Yeah, Inkscape is also free as well, right? Inkscape.
Yeah, and it exports to SVG, but I haven't tested. So maybe you should do a test.
Yeah, you guys were back. Let us know how your tests went. What's the folder structure to complete? This will be our last question, guys. So yeah, we're about an hour of Q&A right now. So yeah, I've done almost 2 hours before, so you know we decide we're gonna cut it down a little bit. Helene asks, what is the folder structure to find the CTA5 content? I want to add in the things I downloaded this evening. Helene, I would highly recommend checking out that Smart Content Manager tutorial video we just posted in the chat window. And yeah, we posted that a little while ago. And so that 25 more questions. Of course you do.
Here it is.
Inquisitive fella.
I just put the link again there, Helene.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Mark threw that in there. Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of inquisitive individuals that are attending our webinar today. Cool. All right. I think we kind of rounded up all those questions. That's awesome. And thank you. You pat yourself on the back?
Yeah, for you answering those questions.
Just imagine patting you on the back over there. Yes, awesome. Thanks again, Mark, so much for kind of introducing Cartoon Animator 5, all the basics that are, all the new features and stuff like that. And I want to thank everyone again sincerely for attending today. Beautiful to have you guys with us, and thank you for all the banter back and forth, and it was fun to chat with you guys.
And all some serenades.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe one day I'll have a live music production / animation, like live stream or something on Twitch or something like that. If there's demand for that. Alright.
That is
cool. Anything else to add, Mark? I think you're good.
That's it. Sometimes Raimundo sabe Spanish.
Well, yes. Oh my gosh, you guys. What's that YouTube video with the cat that's like, Is that the play us out cat?
Play us out, Kai.
I wish I could play that. Guys, go support Canada versus Belgium on Wednesday. That's tomorrow. Alright. Adios, guys. See y'all later. And thanks for being here. Cheers, guys.
All right. So, overall, I really have to hand it to them because they did that live. That's fucking not common. As far as I know, almost every time that I join one of their webinars, it ends up being some pre-recorded thing, and then they do like 15 minutes of Q&A where they selectively do this. They really did put themselves like in the firing line by doing that whole thing live and taking those questions. And I think I was borderline there, kind of being a dick. I don't know. Hopefully I wasn't, because I still come at it with my little prejudices or whatever you want to call it, my bias. And I'm not happy with the direction that this has taken. I mean, G3 characters, or whatever you want to call them, G4, G5 eventually, when they regain their ability to have the multiple angles, they are once again going to be useful. The problem is that the characters that Cartoon Animator was able to allow you to produce back in the day was already miles above what they're doing now. And you can tell by the artwork that they're doing this. They're using a lot of super flat vector art with not a lot of detail and everything, because they know they can't handle it. The only way that those G3 characters are gonna look good is if you extremely limit your artwork style to that corporate Facebook type flat imagery, which there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's just like an overabundance of it. And it's fine. It's just it doesn't allow for full creative expression of the artists themselves. Everybody is different in how they approach their art. Some people are going to want to do bitmap based characters. I have a bunch of, the Batman missions characters, we did those in Photoshop, and they're still G2 characters. I mean, there was a need for that. So it's not that you can't do it. It's just that it's that nature that they don't like doing stuff because it's hard. It's such the wrong mentality, especially for animation. Animation by nature is hard, and we do strive to take shortcuts and trim the amount of work that we put into it. That's the reason why cartoon characters have, the traditional cartoon characters have 3 fingers, because we had to meet all these fucking quotas. And it's a lot faster to draw a character with 3 fingers than it is to draw a character with 4 fingers. Removing that 1 finger makes all the difference in whether you're gonna turn in 300 drawings today or 150. So there's a lot of shortcuts that you take in animation, but overall it's not something that people should take on because they think it's easy. And it can be easy. Using Cartoon Animator overall is easy. It's fun. I still find it fun, but I don't find it practical. When I first started using the product, I started using it because they gave me a free copy. And I probably already told this story many times, but they gave me a free copy. I used to run a website called flashfilmmaker.com. I used to do a lot of reviews. I used to do a lot of tutorials, and that's actually what led to my first book. I hate kind of talking about this stuff. Let me see here. This book right here, Flash Animation and Cartooning, a Creative Guide. It was a very popular website, and it actually led to this opportunity where I was able to write my first book. And that book went on to be used in colleges and universities, and was published in like 7 different languages and stuff. It was great. And the thing about it is that this shit is not hard, guys. I went off course with my rant here. But the process itself is not hard. It's fun. It can be fun. I still enjoy working with Cartoon Animator, but anyways, I was running that website, and they wanted me to write a review for it, and sure, I used to do reviews, and they gave me a free copy of it. I thought it was great. It was a fun product to play with, and I enjoyed playing with it, but it wasn't up to snuff in terms of me integrating it into my tool set. So I could not see myself using it, and I was fairly honest with it. I was pretty honest with it. I wrote my article. I told them in the article that it had great potential, and that was G1 characters, which are essentially the same as G3 characters, single angle characters that you can manipulate with the puppeteering tool. And it was perfectly fun to play with as an animation toy. But it did not have the certain tool sets that I need for an actual professional kit. So I kind of sat on it. I played with it as much as I could, but I never actually used it to create any professional artwork. When version 2 came out, I saw the multi-angle characters, okay? That fucking blew my mind. I bought it right away. I started using the hell out of it. When I sat out to actually create my own custom character after I was done playing with it, I bought it right away. I didn't wait for them to approach me to write an article or anything. I'm like, fuck it, And that's one of the things I do. If I see something or a small company or whatever, I'll just go out there and buy the tool because I want to support them. I'd like to think that by giving them my money and other people giving them their money, that's going to build up and they're going to be able to utilize that and, just keep going, make the product better. So I like to support whenever I can with that stuff. So I don't care. I bought it, dude. And I started using it. And when I started, and you can see the video is still in my history there. I sat out to do my own custom character. I read the manuals and everything. I read it back and forth and everything, and I started doing it. Yeah, it was fucking difficult. It was a nightmare. I was frustrated, and I didn't understand why. Largely it was because I was kind of experimenting and pioneering that, and there was nobody else to teach me how to do it. I mean, if there would have been somebody else out there like me who would have just said, Ibis, do this, do that, it probably would have been a much nicer experience, but there wasn't. Okay, so I was just kind of figuring that shit out as it was coming along, and I gave up on it. I think it's like a 10-hour stream. I was just kind of fucking with it, I was just kind of messing around and doing this, and I was just growing frustrated. And I'm like, you know what? I know how to code in Flash. This thing is working by reconfiguring the sprites, the instance names. That's all it's doing. I decided to sort of reverse engineer what it was that it was doing, what it was looking for. And sure enough, it was a simple matter of just using symbols. They made out their original template harder than it needed to be. Their original G2 template had like 50 million layers in it. And that's unnecessary. If you guys have seen any of my streams, you can see that I build all the stuff in a single layer. Okay, it's just a matter of keeping track of the properties panel and the names that you put in there. So even without Puppet Producer, you can still do this very easily because they provided, I don't know if they're doing that anymore because they're trying to get rid of that feature, but they used to provide a spreadsheet with all the names that you needed to do, and copying and pasting from there manually was still not that bad. So I built Puppet Producer and I came back to the drawing board, and sure enough, something that took me about 10 hours, my first try to do one angle, which I gave up on, I was able to do one angle in less than an hour. Click, 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 click. I did the rest of the angles, and there it was, So, but that's using the Puppet Producer. But even if you're not doing that, once you understand how it works, if you just kind of like read the manual and just kind of look at some of the videos that I've made, you can just do that manually. You just type it in there. The names are fairly consistent, the names that you have to put in there. Once you know them, you could just type them in there. You don't need Puppet Producer for that. So I was actually surprised to hear Mark Diaz say that he was unaware. It actually sounded a little bit of sarcastic the way he said it. So you must have an amazing workflow, huh? You know, the way he typed that. And but that's because he just doesn't know. He hasn't seen it, you know, and I hope he does. I hope he looks it up. And you know what? If he were to look it up and he were to try it, somebody with his kind of influence would probably make Real Illusion see the light. I'm going to reach out to Mark directly. I'm going to send him a free copy of Puppet Producer, and I'm going to challenge him to make a character using Puppet Producer. We'll see what he says. But I have a feeling that if I can get him to try it, he will see how easy it really is. And somebody with that kind of influence can probably bring that to the table at Real Illusion and actually be heard. So I guess something good has come out of that so far. Let's see if he responds to that that challenge. Yeah, and you know, Kai, I liked Kai's response because he's like, yeah, I know Ibis, and he's been working with this. That he kind of stepped in there. He's like, hey, you know, don't this that no, it's not a sarcastic thing, you know. You know, Kai is a really cool guy, man. I've always liked working with him. I've always had good communication with him. There's a few people, and I'm not gonna drop names because I also don't want to get them in trouble either, but there's a few people at Real Illusion that I do approach from time to time, and I'm able to ask questions sincerely, and they give me honest answers, you know, no bullshit. And I appreciate that, you know, and I think it's great, you know. But yeah. So who all is still here in the chat? Any questions? Any last words of parting? I think we pretty much that was a good web stream overall. I enjoyed just kind of giving my own commentary on that. The Springbone features is really nice. And you know what? I can see even with yeah, he's a really great guy. I can see that even with, let's say, G2 characters, I'm going to try something which I'm probably going to break the software because, you know, they probably didn't plan for this. But let's drop a copy of Billy, which is a SWF-based vector character. And you heard what Kai said. Anybody watching this stream after the fact, yeah, hound their email. Let them know you want, at the very least, that stupid vector grouping tool back in there, man. That's a very important tool to have. Otherwise, it really doesn't make sense to upgrade to Cartoon Animator 5 unless you're already using G3 characters. If you are using G3 characters, then it does make perfect sense to upgrade. If you are using G2 characters, SWF-based vector stuff, and render style props, then you definitely need that grouping tool, and it's not available in Cartoon Animator 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Animate real quick before I close out this stream. I'm going to make a little ponytail for Billy. We're not going to get fancy with the artwork. Just gonna be as basic as we can be. I'm gonna export it. Control Shift Alt S. Call it ponytail. Save it. Oh shit, we can't work with SWF files. Alright, we'll save it as an SVG file. Export. Image. Unnamed. Okay, you don't do it that way. Export movie. SVG. There we go. And this is the thing, guys, you know, Photoshop is great and all, but if you do have Photoshop, then there's really no excuse not to be using Adobe Animate. It's part of the subscription. It comes with it, so it's not like you're paying extra for it. So we're going to take this ponytail. I guess we call it, is it a prop? Or is it a character? Let's bring it in as a bone character, because I'm not familiar with that system yet, but what I learned from that webinar, we'll put that to the use. It looks the same. Okay, whatever. So we're gonna do that. Add bone. Okay, I'm not sure how that works. Let's try it again. Oh shit. I gotta get used to it. But the theory is sound. So in theory, this might work. Let's see. We put that there. Then we add bones to it. And he said we had to group this. Just the main bone. Assign to group. And we'll do this. Do you just click it? All right. Okay, well it didn't bring the little thing, but that's fine. I can live with it. It's a really great feature. Okay, that didn't work. I'm not gonna worry about it not working though. Maybe I could just delete it. If it'll let me. Yeah, we'll just delete that sprite and we'll just leave that intact. Let's go back here. I mean, technically, there's no reason why you can't just attach stuff, right? Let's attach it to the back hair and just kind of move it to the back a little bit. So if we move this guy around, yeah, there's no reason why it shouldn't work. So we can probably still do things with this, you know, in conjunction with our characters. So there's hope. There is definitely hope there. I'm going to play around with it. Maybe we'll put some tutorials together in the coming days. But all right, I'm going to close off the stream. Tanya, thank you for joining me. Anybody else who's still in the chat, thank you for being here. And those who are gonna check out this and the repeat, you know, feel free to leave your comments and I'll address them in a future stream. Talk to y'all later.